Hello, welcome. It is Kristen from Life of Crafting, and I'm in a coloring mood. I swatched out my Copics the other day, and I'll do that another video. But I had saw this Christina Werner card from her Christmas card series. I think it was 2018. She did this card, and she has a video up. And being that I have very little knowledge of coloring, and this was a basic coloring where she's not really shading, I thought this would be a good place to get started. So she is using the Mama Elephant circular grid die and the Mama Elephant Snowman Agenda stamps. And she's very good at explaining, but I kind of was just an idiot. I did go and I cut my paper in quarters, and I will tell you that if you do that first, you're really gonna have to line up your paper on the back, and then I used washi tape to hold it down, because my first attempt, if you can kind of see that there, is not very level. It moved when it got through the die cutting machine. So the second one I did was that way. But I'm going to use these together. I'm going to glue them so that I get a little bit of a thicker frame on there. She does some thin foam squares behind, and I may do that as well. I'm actually thinking I may make this a little bit of a shaker card. So yeah, I'm thinking about trying that. So the first thing I did was, yeah, I'm an idiot, was I thought she said she did the tracing with the pencil and then took that paper that she traced with the pencil and put that in there. But no, I kind of skipped a step, and she used the tracing of the pencil. Here's my first attempt where I screwed it. She only used that to put this so she could line up her snowman. That was it. Then she put a clean sheet of paper in when she actually did the stamping. That's where I made my mistake. So I started, thinking I was going to do stuff here. And you can see that, yeah. So you only do the circles in pencil so you know where to line up. Because I thought I was going to just die cut all these out. I have the dies, but I do see the advantage that if I color them right on the paper, I know where I kind of have to go with the coloring for the background. So having said that, this is me having to, dissect this because I'm not, like I said, I really haven't colored. So I did go through and watch that video on how many times to get the whole list of colors that she used between the backgrounds and all the different snowmen and stuff. And again, having no stash, the way I started to build my stash, and I still do that now, is if I see something, usually it's her and Nicole Spohr that do some kind of Copic coloring, I will write down all the colors, and then I will buy to the product or project that I'm going to color. So I hope that may help you too, because like I said, there's so many Copic colors, and it's how do you know what you're getting and where to get started with? So that's how I've been doing it. And obviously the colors that you're going to see over and over and over again are the ones that, when you're doing Christmas anyway, you're going to keep seeing this R29 shows up over and over and over again. This YG67 is another popular one over and over and over again, no matter who you watch. So it was good because it gave me the basic colors to get started with, and then you can build from there. So then I did watch, and I started making myself a little chart. The R20 was what she used for the cheeks. So now I know when I go in here how I'm going to do that. The R46 she used for the berries on the snowman. She used it on a hat, probably over here, and she used it on a scarf, probably over here. So I just started making myself a little key as to, what colors, and then as she started coloring them in, I would write down what color, and then it would give me a good repetitive thing. And then she said she did the Jelly Roll pen for the snowflakes. She white heat embossed. So that was what I did, was I printed this up and then watched the video, like I said, over and over and over again, and just started making notes as I went. So now I did get my stuff stamped. I did use Memento ink because that's what I have. And I did get a little bit of a, you know, real like thick line here, but when I get my topper, you know, my circular grid on there, that's not even going to be seen. So now, like I said, this is going to be easy coloring for me because I don't have to worry about shading. So now like this one, I know I pulled out the Y21 and the only thing I needed for was the broom. So now I could put that one back away. She uses BG11 in the drink and the present. I don't know which present, because they don't look like that. So yeah, my key's already kind of going off. I know she uses them in the backgrounds, but I want to do my coloring first and then I'll go back. And I can't even read my own writing. It says drink, and I thought that says present. Because I know he's got a present down here, but I don't know anybody else. So I guess I'm going to put that one aside. Then I need E55 for the broom handle. So that's going to be the broom handle. And I also needed it for the coffee cup. So that's over here. So a little bit on the coffee cup. And then I have it on the pages. So I'm assuming it's the pages of the book, but honestly that doesn't look on there like there was any coloring done, so I don't know. So that is the E55. So this is how I'm gonna do it now, is I'm gonna go through, like I wrote down, she's got C8 on the hats of the snowman. Well, obviously they're all snowmen. I don't know why I did that. That's kind of foolish, isn't it? So there's 4 of those for C8. I will tell you, like I said, I just swatched, and I don't color very much, and I've been buying. I originally started when they were still doing the 40% off coupons from Hobby Lobby. That tells you how long ago that was. That's been a good year and a half. So I got mine from there. I've got a few online from Joann's. And then I did get some on at Michael's. And then I just recently got some at the Blick art store, which is known as Dick Blick. I kind of find that like kind of a little odd you would name your store that. But anyway, I bought some off this like oddball site. Probably a little over a year ago, and I don't remember what I got from where, but when I went in and I swatched my stuff, there was quite a few that were bone dry. And I say that only because this was a marker that I bought, and it's kind of a little funky with stuff on it. This was one that was that way. Yeah, I've had 3 out of probably my 60 or 70 markers that came to me, and they were bone dry. So I would highly recommend, when you buy yours, even if you don't use it immediately, go in and try it, because if you get them, I would recommend you take them back. Unfortunately, like I said, I couldn't remember where I got mine from, so I, had to just buy the refills and deal with it myself, because I couldn't say where I got it from. I would even maybe possibly recommend that you kind of do it while you're in the store, because I don't know, depending on the store, they may argue with you, you know, that how do you prove that the color, you know, the marker you just bought was where you got it from. But like I said, I was kind of surprised with the amount of the different ones that I've gotten through the years that were, like I said, bone dry. So I'm gonna just keep coloring based on what I have here, and then I'll be back a little bit into this, you know, kind of show you where I'm at. I am learning that, you know, you gotta have a very light hand, like these berries. I am basically just touching the tip to the paper. I'm not really trying to, you know, flick the paint in there, because there's just not the room. She did these as a stripe, and it is cute, and it's the same thing. You just gotta lightly touch the tip to the paper. And like I said, I am by no means a person that can color. Yeah, I think I flunked coloring in kindergarten. I think I'm that bad. So, I'll get a little further along, and then I'll be back. We're here telling you about testing your markers, and start coloring, and this huge drop of R20 comes out and falls right on the face. And I had to, like, another drip of it over here. So, yeah, when I say test your markers, because now I gotta go and restamp and start this one all over again. See, look at how it came through. So, yeah, there we go. I'm on to card 2 now. I'm gonna tell you that I would not recommend trying to do this without using a Misty, because what I'm finding is the darkness of your ink is not going to stay consistent unless you have a stamp platform like this. I'm just finding that there's areas that are staying light and others staying dark. The areas that I'm really having issues with are the bottom, where they're squishing, but that's okay because of this design is going to cover it. But like right now, like, I'm having to look and make sure that the black is consistent through the whole stamp. And this is also how I've been doing it. I've been using some washi tape to just hold down the edges, because I do find these magnets, even though they're like a much more low profile than like the Stampin' Up ones, they do still have a way of interfering with the with you getting a good stamp. You know, like if you watch, I'll the other thing is with my stamp pad seems to be a little dry maybe. So instead of patting on it, I'm kind of rubbing it like up and down on the stamp to get a better black impression. But like I'm having a really tough time with some of this stuff here that is around those stamps. So if you're gonna attempt a card like this, be prepared to move your magnets around. Like I said, I use the washi tape, and for me it's not gonna matter. It's not gonna tear really anyway, because this is a very low tact washi tape. But you know, I have that other layer going on top, so it's not really gonna make much of a difference. But I don't have that My Petunia sticky grid stuff for the back, and I probably should get some. That would probably really help. But this is, you know, this has worked for me so far, and I'm wanting to have more than one. Like right now I'm looking like, here's my candy cane in this one. So I know it seems like it should be very simplistic, and maybe it's because of maybe I have a drier ink pad than I should. But yeah, I highly recommend trying this on a stamp pad or a stamp platform. Don't try to like individually do the stamp, and I think you're gonna want to blow your brains out if you get into like the second and third time with it. So I'm gonna do 2 of these for right now and see where this goes. See if I can get some stuff actually colored here, and I'll be back. So another lesson I learned is you want to stay close to the body of the snowman, because if I put this on the way I would expect it to fit, I have green showing up down there. I can move this down and I'm not going to have too much of an issue, but I'm really going to have to keep these colors that go in the background close to the body of the snowman. The other thing I'm learning is you just like kind of work your way to the snowman, because this ink spreads. I think that was a lesson I was not very understanding of when I started to do this, is that, you know, you put 1 drop of ink down and that whole thing just spreads out through the paper, which is what makes it so that you can blend it, which is nice. But when you don't do these things like you're learning, that is something you do have to understand. And one of the things I had to see too is that, like, again, to get things consistently at that color, you will have to go back over things several times to get your color and your shading very consistent, so you don't get like light and dark spots with it. So I am now going to work my way. What I wound up having to do is I took like 1 snowman at a time and just worked on assuring I had like all the components colored, because there's so many like little details with these. It's amazing. But they are cute. They are so cute. I am loving this. This is great. Like, if you just want to sit down and relax, this is a good, like I said, I am not a person that colors. So for me to want to sit and do this, that's kind of saying something. So now I know I have to kind of go off to the side here more. So I'm going to just keep fooling with this back and forth to give me, you know, where my card front's going to be. So that's kind of like a good spot right there. But like I said, got to keep going over it to get the color of the, you know, the paper saturated with that color. I mean, really, backs get quite colorful as well. That's why I'm doing it on a piece of scrap paper, so I don't really care about it. And the other thing I found out was, like, these colors are so close. I needed BG 000 and I bought B 000. So I thought I had the right color for the snowman outlines, and I don't. But they were close enough, in my opinion. But I will put that back on my shopping list, which is why I wrote myself a note at the top of this paper. Because the next time I do a shopping trip, which I did like going to that Blick art store when I was down in Tampa with my son. If you're looking at the price of Copics, I'll do another, like I said, when I get through my swatching, I'll go through the pricing of it. Right now I'm believing that the Blick art store is probably going to be my go-to place for that. If I can get it with either free shipping or I can go in and pick it up. So that's why I like to keep myself a list going. So I'm going to keep coloring and I will be back. So I'm kind of wrapping up. This is my Wednesday night. I'm thinking maybe Wednesday night will be my coloring night, because Wednesday nights are usually the night I have kind of to myself, meaning, like, you know, no kids, no husband, that kind of stuff. And I found this to be really just able to be exhaled, very, I don't want to say therapeutic, but I don't know what the word is. So I did really enjoy this, and I have a lot of other cards I'd like to do that are a little bit more of coloring related versus die cutting in that. So I did one more stamping I just did, and I'm kind of wrapping up for the night. I'm just kind of getting a little tired, which I think I may go read a book. But I am really enjoying this. So I'm thinking I may make this a weekly thing to kind of take you through my journey of learning coloring. One of the things I did find a little odd was this YG67. I had loved it so much, I used all of the ink in it, and I just did a re-inker that I bought. But the coloring, I don't know if I can show this, is really kind of weird. There's almost like a buildup of like it's almost like I feel like I could scratch it off with my fingernail. So it didn't really, it's kind of like sitting on the surface. That was the first one I did. And then the second one has this too, where it's very splotchy. So I'm wondering if I may need to get a new nib or whatever they call that, the component that, you know, this thing that comes out, but the other side, the brush side. So I may check that out when I do another order and see if that will get rid of that. But I also found that this little guy here must have moved. So when I went to do this one, I did move him a little bit more so that when I put the thing on the front, that he is kind of hidden behind. So yeah, you know, things happen. But for my first attempt, I'm really happy. So this is going to wrap up the first part. I will do a second part where I'm going to put these cards together, and I'll finish that up in this series when I go to post it. So I'll see you soon.